Hello Spoonie Joe on Instagram. So in today's bite-sized coaching session, so this is Fearless Singer Daily, where I take a concept and give it to you in a digestible chunk. In today's session is really a tribute to International Jazz Day, because that's today. I've just been at one of our little jazz clubs over at Lutwyche, the Crown, seeing the wonderful Carol Marco play, who's just absolutely divine, and her beautiful band, Eddie Gazzani, Roberto and Nico. It was fantastic, and had a bit of a sing, and then had to chuff off so that I could do this live. So yeah, today's session is about how we can get a little bit more, hopefully a lot more freedom in our singing and in our creativity. Hi Caitlin, hi Lauren. So yeah, what is it that stops us from being free? And generally speaking, it is this idea of, perfectionism, or that there's a fear of being criticized. It's like, or even not by somebody external, so another person, but even this fear of our own inner critic coming out of nowhere to, have their say on whatever it is that we produce. So it stops that beautiful feeling of freedom and accessing our full voice, whether we're singing or we're speaking and communicating to a group of people. And there's things that we can do to help that. And if you watched yesterday's session, I spoke a lot about EFT, so Emotional Freedom Technique tapping. So that's a modality where it interrupts those patterns and helps us access that more expansive state, because it makes our nervous system, it resets it and helps us feel safe in our body while we're doing these things. So I wanted to make this about freedom because I feel like for me as a jazz singer, jazz music represents freedom. And I just want to acknowledge that jazz music is from Black American people. It was created out of oppression. And it was, if you look at the history, it really was a way of expressing and being with each other, collaborating and connecting to that energy of freedom. We're very lucky to be able to, as white people, to be able to be, have access to this music that was created largely from oppression that, we put on a group of people. So this idea of freedom, how do we get it? We can actually, there's so many different tools that we can use day to day to help us access this idea of counterbalancing or counteracting, I should say, our perfectionist brain, our critical mind. So some little tools that you can try out. And actually I have to acknowledge my best friend Spoonie Joe, so Amy. So she actually introduced me to this concept because she's an incredible artist and she has so much freedom in her artwork. She's just honestly, her imagination is wild and she comes up with the most beautiful pictures because she allows herself to play. She gives herself permission to play with art. And I remember saying to her, I'm terrible. I'm terrible with art. And she said, it doesn't matter. The same thing that I say to people that say they can't sing. It doesn't matter. You can still have fun. And life is allowed to be fun and life is allowed to be easy. This is another thing too. So these little techniques help. So one thing you can do is, as an adult, get a bloody colouring in book and get a really nice one. Spend money on it. Pay $20 for it. And get all your coloured pens out. And for the first 2 pages, allow yourself to colour outside of the lines. Just do it deliberately. Go crazy. If you want to go a little bit further, go buy yourself a canvas and some paints and, just go crazy. Apparently it's really bad for you to put it on your hands. It's quite toxic, so just bear that in mind. So use your brushes and just go crazy. So you're allowing yourself to be deliberately outside of the box. So that's something that you can easily do. Another thing too, for years I've had a resistance to journaling, mostly because I buy all these really beautiful journals and I honestly feel like my handwriting is too terrible for them. And once I realized that was a belief, I started deliberately making my handwriting even worse. And this funny thing happens. You just start to release that need to, to make everything beautiful, or it doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be neat. And so this is how we start to access freedom in other areas of our lives, just through these little techniques. You'll notice, even as a singer, if you're doing things like this with artwork, you will notice a massive difference in your singing, because what you're doing is you're releasing, again, that need to stay within the box. You're allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to play. The other thing you can do, and this is a great singing exercise, is to, if you're a piano player, just give yourself 3 chords, or even 2, or even 1, it doesn't matter, and just loop it around. If you're not a piano player, you can find a backing track online on YouTube to a karaoke track. You don't know the song. It's easy if you don't know the song. It doesn't matter though. And then just make up some weird shit. Whoa, hey, hey. Just whatever comes out, and stop if you have to. Same way we have to stop to reflect before we speak. Give yourself space. And when you start to go, oh, I'm trying to sound pretty, I'm trying to sound good here, then just start singing bad, deliberately, intentionally. Go outside of the key center. Make weird sounds. It's so much fun, by the way. And yeah, again, you're training yourself to be more free in what you do. There's no right sound. There's no such thing. Like we put that polarity, we experience polarity in life, but we then take that and then make them into rules and then put it on things. So it's like, F that off. Give yourself permission to play. The other thing too is don't be afraid of repetition. You're allowed to just keep repeating the same idea over and over and over again. And another great tool that you can use, this reminds me of another just transformative tool, is morning pages from Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. So when you wake up in the morning pages routine is this. You literally get up, do your thing, your morning thing, like going to the toilet, get your glass of water, whatever it is. But before you do anything else, before you reach for your phone, go and sit somewhere and write stream of consciousness for 3 pages. And by the way, because I told you that I'm not much of a handwriter, get yourself a smaller book to do it in. And you're still ticking the box. You've written 3 pages. Now, what do you write? Absolute garbage. You deliberately write shit, and you're not even really supposed to read it back. And in fact, you keep it in a book, or you can keep it on just loose pieces of paper, stuff it into an envelope, and if it gets full, go and burn it, or just, put it through a shredder or something. Don't read it back. It's not meant to be good. It's just literally meant to get everything out of your brain, like a dump, literally. And you're teaching yourself to trust yourself, that you can stick to a routine. You've told yourself that I'm going to write 3 pages every day, and that's what you do. So you're showing up for yourself. And then that has a massive knock-on effect with this idea of freedom in your singing and your speaking, your communicating and your performing, because you see yourself as a creative. It's an identity thing. The other thing too, it teaches you this does not have to be good. You can literally write for the whole 3 pages, this is shit. I hate this. This hurts my hand. Oh, I really need my coffee. You can repeat the same line over and over and over and over again. So those are just some really powerful, simple tools that you can do every single day to allow yourself to have more freedom. The other thing too is listen to more free sounding music. This is probably the wrong time to say that I'm not a massive free jazz fan, but maybe I should after what I've just spoken about. But yeah, go and listen to some Ornette Coleman. And you know, this is somebody who had a remarkable career in jazz. And yeah, you decide whether it's okay to just do whatever the F you want to do. Honestly, really, it comes back to permission. Give yourself permission. And it also comes back to this idea of releasing the perfectionism. Just knock it out of the park. Just get rid of it. Releasing that buying into the critical mind with what it has to tell you. And the other thing is, I know this is a hard one, and I'm not even going to lie that I'm 100% cured for this. I'm definitely a recovering external validation seeker. So the other thing too is don't do things for positive praise. You know, do things for your own sense of like, oh, this feels so glorious to make all these strange sounds. This is so much fun. Do it for your own sense of joy. And again, you just keep connecting to that joy, connect to the fun, connect to the fact that this is just easy. You don't have to even know anything. You know, you don't have to go into a course on music theory to understand what you're doing unless you're called to. You've got that curiosity that you want to follow. Just do it for the sake of you're making colors with your voice. And honestly, if you did that every single day, it will completely change your relationship with your voice. It will completely change your relationship with the stage, the literal stage, or the metaphoric stage of your life. And my whole Fearless Singer really is about helping people be the star of the stage. And it sounds so corny, but it's so true. It's about stepping into that star energy, because it is just an energy. Everybody, it doesn't matter whether you think you have talent or not, it's so irrelevant. Everyone has access to that energy. You know, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. And I know it's not an even playing field for everybody. It started this whole coaching session talking about oppression that jazz was born out of that. And the oppression, also part of that oppression was trying to convince a very, talented group of humans, a talented race of people, trying to convince them that there is no such thing, or that star energy doesn't belong to you. But that's the fallacy. That was the lie, to keep a race of people down. So I'm saying this to everybody, that energy exists and you can own it. You can tap into it. And that can be you. That can be your life. Being the star of the stage, like I said, literally, if that's what you want to do, you're here to sing, or you're here to share a message with the world, or the star of the stage in your own life, in your own business. And the more and more you give yourself permission to be free, and free from that critical mind, free from this idea of things have to be good, what is good, the more you can free yourself from that, the more you can easily access that star energy. And that's where I'll stop. Thank you so much for being part of this session, whether you on this live or you're watching replay. Please, if you are watching this back, can you hashtag replay to let me know that you are? And if you have any questions whatsoever, just leave a comment on this, or you can send me a DM. I'm on Instagram at Mel Lathouris, Facebook, if you just type in Mel Lathouris, Lathouras, I'll come up. And you can be part of our Fearless Singers membership as well. That's where I regularly share tips. I'm always sharing tips on Instagram. The other thing too, if you would like some more support in this type of coaching, go and check out fearlesssinger.com. There's a heap of free resources there. So there's one which is like a daily voice routine to help you show up every day for your voice, making it super easy. Just do some exercises, you'll have this beautiful, healthy voice. And also there is a EFT tapping course on there. And if you would like to be part of a group coaching program, come over to Fearless Singer School. So fearlesssingerschool.com, and come and join us. We do weekly coaching as well as a monthly class, and with topics ranging from singer branding to somatic voice work, voice care, to mindset, tapping, you name it, we cover it. So yeah, come and check out Fearless Singer. We'd love to have you part of the community. And the other thing I'd like to invite you to as well, if you're in the Brisbane area, the Fearless Singer Showcase will be on at Can You Keep a Secret, which is a very cool bar in Wollongabba. And on the 25th of May, so a group of singers from the Fearless Singer School will be performing, and it would be really nice for you to come and be part of our community for that night, celebrating our beautiful singers. And also keep an eye out for some announcements to do with workshops, and also announcements to do with some more public Fearless Singer jams. So talk to you soon. Take care.